to our 2021 Spring Town Hall meeting. So wonderful to see you all here today. And what is in store for us? So we are starting with the welcome from me. I'm Fatima Jomin Rodriguez, Executive Director for CAMP. Then we will hear from Teen Advisory Committee member India Eastridge. We're so honored and happy to have India here with us today. Then we're going to have an update from Dr. Stu Siegel on behalf of the Medical Advisory Committee. We will hear from Chad Edwards, our program director, who will tell us about what is the latest and greatest for 2021 camp program, Camp at Home. And lastly, we're going to hear from Lauren Dasher, who's our events manager, who's going to be sharing about the Walk for Kids. So I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen so you all can see India speak. But without further ado, India Eastridge, go ahead, take it away.
Hello there, good evening. It's an honor to be here. I'm India Eastridge, and my twin sister Gracie was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, Gesundheit, when she was 4 in 2006, and she has recovered. She's in remission, so very lucky to be able to say that. And camp has been in my family's life since 2006. Actually, we got hats made that say since 2006. And I mean, as long as I can remember, camp has been a really huge part of my life. It has made me the person I am today. There are so many anecdotes I could talk about how camp gave me confidence and gave me leadership skills and helped me get out of my shell. And I have so many really deep connections that I've made with other campers and with counselors. So I'm very, very blessed to be part of the camp family. And I heard about TAC when I was too young to join the Teen Advisory Committee for camp. And I was very, very jealous because they went on a fun trip to, where was it Yosemite? Yeah, it was Yosemite. And I was so envious. And the minute I was old enough, I turned in the application, as did my sister Gracie, and I got in, so good for me. And it has been so rewarding. It's been maybe 2 years now of being on TAC, and I've raised money. I like to draw, and so I've had the opportunity to do a lot of really cool artwork for shirts and for thank you cards, and I did some stuff for the coloring book, and I got to go on my own trip last year, right before everything shut down, the highlight of 2020, which happened in January. Joshua Tree, it was wonderful. And I've spoken with some donors. I got to go to the gala, wore heels for the first time. That was exciting. And overall, just I'm having a really good time with TAC, and I'm fundraising for the Walk for Kids right now. I'm a co-captain of the WOLP Walk team. And I'm very proud to say that I've raised over $2,000 as of right now. So that's really exciting. So I have been so happy to be able to give back to the place that has meant so much to me. And I don't regret anything. I would not change a single thing. I love being in TAC. It is an honor to be a co-captain for the walk. And I'm having a great time. So I love to talk about camp. I could do it for hours, but I will try to not hold you guys up for too long. Thank you for letting me speak. I was very excited to come and say hi. And if you have any questions about the camper experience, I'm here to enlighten. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, India. Very well said. And you reminded me, India, actually, speaking of questions, we want to get through the whole program. And so please do include questions in the chat, and then we will address those questions towards the end, including if you have questions for India, she will be with us this whole time. So let me go ahead and continue sharing my screen. Everybody see that okay? Awesome. So now we get to hear from Dr. Stu. Dr. Stu Siegel, thank you for being here with us. He's going to give us our update on Medical Advisory Committee.
Well, hi, everybody. It's a lot of news this time on the medical side, so I'm going to look at my notes as I do this. First of all, just a brief update on the vaccine rollout. You probably all know about this, but we have 3 vaccines now that have been approved in the US. The supply of all those vaccines is being boosted tremendously. The US government has bought more vaccine. There's going to be a lot of vaccine coming. It's already started, but a lot more coming in the next few months. So as you probably heard, there's been a trial going on to vaccine teenagers 16 and actually 12 and up. And that trial with Pfizer just reported that there was 100% efficiency in the vaccine, actually better than adults. And so that's a really good sign for us. And I'll come back to what that might mean for us. Secondly, every adult is going to be able to be vaccinated by, or at least get an appointment by May 1st, and hopefully be vaccinated by the beginning of the summer. And they open that up now to up to 12-year-olds. I assume they'll be included in that kind of timetable for getting vaccinated. Certainly the young adults and teenagers up to 16 or 12 rather should be vaccinated sometime by July this summer. So we're pushing that timetable up, which is really great, by a couple months. Actually, I heard Fauci talk yesterday, and he was talking about the timetable really is being pushed up a couple months because of the improvement in the vaccine supply and all of that. We still don't know how long the vaccine works. I will mention that. There's some concern about the antibody titers staying for many, many months, but we don't have any data yet. However, just today I saw an article that the cellular response, which means the cells that are programmed to fight against the virus, actually seem to continue for quite a while. And that's an added protection. And they actually work against all the variants, the Brazil and South African variants. Even if the antibody isn't as effective, these T cells, these cells that actually directly kill the virus, seem to react against those variants. So that's another piece of very recent good news. I did have the chance to talk to one of my colleagues at CHLA about what's happening with our patient population. And I was very happy to hear that they are already vaccinating teens with cancer 16 and up. And that includes both kids on therapy and off therapy. So that's really good news. And he didn't know when they would get everybody, but it just depends on the vaccine supply. So I'm assuming they will also all get vaccinated by this summertime. The younger kids under the age of 12, of course, are waiting for the clinical trials that are being conducted now on those kids to see if they'll be safe. And I'm assuming those results should become available sometime in the next couple months. And I would expect that we would be starting to vaccinate younger kids sometime this summer or fall. And they've been talking about early 2022, but it looks like the timetable is being pushed up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get going with some of the younger kids in the fall, though it may take well into the end of the year, the beginning of 2022, to get them all vaccinated. But that's all really exciting news. The medical committee has boosted up its meetings now to every 2 months. Our next one is the end of April. We are going to talk at that time and explore further whether, with this improvement in the access to vaccines for both people in general, for kids in general, up from 16 and up, and then also our cancer patients, whether or not we might be able to consider exploring a WOLP camp or a young adult camp, even perhaps later this summer. I don't think we want to promise anything yet, but I think it's certainly now on the horizon, given the improvement in the vaccination schedule. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't want to promise it, but at least for the first time, we're going to start thinking about that. And of course, then with the other schedule I mentioned, it certainly looks like we should be okay for next year for sure for kids, unless something bad happens unexpectedly. And it could even be later this year, very late this year, although I would sort of plan on next year, 2022, perhaps in the spring, that we would be ready to pretty much take everybody. So everything's moving along well, and I just remind everybody to stay safe, and just because things are getting better, keep on wearing those masks and try to stay away from large groups, and also keep your distance when you're with people who you don't know or don't live with you. But I think we're all sort of feeling that things are lightening up, and I think it's lightening up for the camp possibilities as well. So that's pretty exciting.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Stu. And if you all have questions, we can again put those in the chat, and then Dr. Stu can answer afterwards. Next, we have Chad Edwards, who's our program director, but also producer and star of Good Times News, our new news program. I don't know if you guys have seen this on our social media, but tune into YouTube, Camp Ronald McDonald, and you'll see Chad as our host of Good Times News. Thank you, Chad. Take it away.
Thanks, Fatima. So as you said, many changes hopefully on the horizon, but until we know for sure, we are going to continue with our Camp at Home program and offer a variety of virtual activities for our family. I'm going to run through some of those and a couple other cool happenings in the program world. Something we instituted in January were monthly family game nights. And we've been doing those since January, February, March, and then we have a couple more coming up in April and May. And it's open to anyone, volunteers, board, friends of camp, whoever wants to attend. And we've had various folks lead those, from some of our camp volunteers to some of our folks from Family Support Services. Just a couple of days ago, Pun, who happens to be on the call, led our March family game night. And there was a great turnout, 7 or 8 families and a few staff, and it was a blast as usual. It's not easy to entertain folks for an hour over Zoom, so well done, Pun. Stay tuned for those April, May dates. You're all invited. Something else we've been able to institute virtually has been weekly parent meetings led by Family Support Services. If you don't know who Family Support Services are, Family Support Services is a program of Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern California, where they have some doctors, they have some folks going through their PhD program who meet with all of our families and the RMHCSC family if they would like. And they can receive counseling or just have someone to talk to. And we've partnered with Family Support Services to offer weekly parent meetings like we do at Family Camp. Parents can come if they wish. We have a one we offer in English and one we offer in Spanish every week. And this has been something we've always dreamed of doing. And now that we've had to be virtual the last year, it's actually forced us and allowed us to make this happen. So this is a good byproduct of going virtual. And those will continue as long as we continue to see people attend and see that there's value in it for our families. Next up, we've been working on a brand new recruitment book for the hospitals. This is something we've always dreamed of doing, a really nice recruitment book. And Jasmine, our family relations coordinator, and Shannon, who's also on the phone on the call, have been working on this for a while. Recently, Jasmine was approached by a publisher called Be Well, who creates these activity books for children in the hospital, specifically what we were looking for. And they said, would you be interested in partnering with us on this? And we said, sure, if we can make some, adaptations and do it how we would like. And they said they would love to. So we've been working with them for the last few months. It'll be rolled out actually towards the end of April. So Jazzy can get those to all of our hospitals. They can be put in the hands of our patients who are in the hospital bed. And here's the cover of it right now, the rough sketch cover that they without going to camp, this is what they came up with. And we actually had the publisher and the artist go visit camp 2 weeks ago, and they came away with great ideas. They're like, okay, so no one swims in the pond. We'll take off the kids running. No one boats in the pond. We'll take that out. We'll put kids fishing. So they loved it. They can't wait to bring camp to this book. It'll be about a 30-page book that'll have everything from information about camp, about what to expect, the journey, a little roadmap of going to camp from the hospital. It'll have meditation practices they can do in their hospital bed with their family. It'll have little games that are camp themed. It'll have coloring pages designed by our campers like India, who submitted a few. So this has been a labor of love, and it's gonna be a nice book that'll be around for a while. So we're excited about that. Another cool partnership coming up is with the group from Snap. If you're like me, you might not know who Snap is prior to this, but Snapchat, you might have heard of Snapchat, the social media platform. Snap, they do Snap Lens, Snap Camera, or Snapchat. And this is a company that supports all of those. And we have one of our volunteers who works with Snap who wanted to partner with us to offer workshops for our teens, our families, our volunteers. And we said, absolutely. So this is an opportunity for anyone who's associated with camp to come learn about how to create your own camp lens for your phone for taking photos and putting that on social media, or how to create your own lenses. And the next one is May 7th at 5:30. This will be open to anyone associated with camp. You can learn the ins and outs of Snap Camera and Lens Studio. Just a neat partnership. And we have already had one workshop with them where they told us the basics, and this is going to build on that. So if there's something you're interested in, Fatima will have all that information, and you can watch the old one and then attend the next one as well. Now the biggies, we have spring and summer family camps coming up. So our virtual spring family camps, we're going to be offering two. These are going to be family camp and our Campamento Familiar. You see the dates, April 30th to May 2nd for family camp, and then our Spanish speaking family camp, May 14th to the 16th. Once again, we're going to be doing camp in a box and online camps, just like we did in the fall. However, we're going to make some tweaks this time. We're going to be offering new programs. Fatima, if you can hit the next little thing, thank you. We got some new programs lined up. We're going to be doing some dance class, some family paint night instead of game night, since we're already doing that. And then we have a very cool new partnership with a group called Paratos. Paratos is this massive company that provides baking and baking supplies to pretty much any restaurant or anyone that bakes anything you can think of, from Costco to McDonald's to you name it, they work with them. So thanks to our board president, Carmen, we now have a connection, and they are going to supply all the cooking supplies for all our cooking activities that our virtual programs will be offering. And they're not only going to do that, they're going to lead the cooking class. They're going to package all the supplies up individually, put them in boxes, and mail them to our families for us. Pretty cool. They're going to take care of all that. They're super excited. They look forward to not only doing all the spring and summer, but also coming to camp, which we can get back to in person. So well done, Carmen. Thank you, Paratos. And building on that, we have our summer sessions. It's going to look a little different this year. Learning from last year's first virtual summer, we realized it was a little too long. So we've cut it down to 2 weeks. You can go ahead, Fatima. We've got 2 sessions lined up. We've got a session 1 for our teenage campers, July 9th through the 15th, and then session 2 for our 9 to 12-year-olds, the 23rd to the 29th. Once again, we're going to be doing the online and the camp in a box, and having these 2 weeks targeted to ages allows us to tailor the contents of the box and the activities to more age-appropriate type activities and box content. So we're not trying to provide a box for a 9-year-old and an 18-year-old in the same box. No, we can do a 9-year-old and an 18-year-old separate, so we can hit their developmental needs a little better. We're going to have, like I said, shorter, more concentrated sessions instead of a full month. And then we've learned that the kids want cabin time every day. They want to hang out with their close friends and make sure those connections happen. So we listen to the feedback from the kiddos, like India, who literally worked with the Teen Advisory Committee and solicited feedback from our teen campers about what we should be doing. So thank you, India, for helping us shape the program. And that is what we have lined up for the next 4 or 5 months around Camp at Home.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate that overview. Very well done. And I just want to shout out the Rotary Club of Downey, who is supporting us for that recruitment book. They saw the vision and they said yes to helping us fund that book. So just want to say thank you to them. Next, we have Lauren Dasher, who's our events manager, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about the Walk for Kids, which is our next big fundraiser coming up. Take it away, Lauren.
Hello, everyone. So camp is hosting our annual Walk for Kids right now. Typically, this event is in person. We all get together, and as you can see in this photo, along with the LA house and the chapter, we walk a 5K. So I think the biggest difference this year is our event is virtual, and really what that means is anybody who chooses to participate, you get to choose your own way to walk this year by getting active with camp. You can choose your favorite activity and use that as a motivating factor for raising funds for the Walk for Kids. And I know you heard India earlier talking about how she's fundraising on behalf of the WOLP team. So really, why we walk, there's really 3 key components of this event. It is our largest event of the year. So these are really critical funds that we're raising, about 20% of our program budget, that we're looking to get to by our virtual celebration, which is on April 25th. So we have a little bit less than a month to go. And then of course, building community. And we're doing this virtually. If you visit our Walk website, which I'll be sharing in a minute, you can share what you're doing by getting active, by joining the Strava Club. It's a totally free app. You can click that on the main page. And that's just one way we're building community amongst, sharing on social media and, building that Walk community online. And then, of course, spreading awareness about the program. We have really exciting partnerships this year. We've partnered with all of our sponsors, some new corporate teams, and the band Ozo Motley, who's going to be, helping us spread awareness this year. And I think that that's a really great way that we're taking advantage of this event being virtual this year, because everyone's really excited to be participating in online. So make sure that you're following us on social media so you can stay tuned with all those fun updates. And then, of course, helping camp reach our goal. We do have an ambitious goal of $240,000. As of right now, we've raised about $105,000. So we're almost halfway there. And of course, there's a portion of our fundraising goal that does come from McDonald's shoe sales, which will be launching tomorrow. So if you are visiting a McDonald's between April 1st and April 15th, be sure to donate, or encourage those to donate through McDonald's. But other ways to support the event would be to register. You could register as a virtual walker as an individual. You can start your own team and recruit some members to also raise funds for camp. Or we have tons of camp teams that are already registered, so you can jump on board. Our On Board for Camp team, featuring our board members and our staff, the Wolf team, the counselor team. I'm sure they'd all appreciate your support. You can just make a donation, and that can support an individual or a team, or just generally supporting camp and working towards our goal. There are still sponsorship opportunities available. It's not too late to support us. And those levels start at $1,000 and over. You can find the sponsorship packet on our website, which will give you, and I'm happy to have a conversation about, what the sponsorship looks like this year. We are partnering with all programs across Ronald McDonald House Charities of Southern California this year. So it really gives an opportunity for sponsors to get their, brand awareness amplified across all of the programs. And of course, joining us for the virtual celebration on April 25th, we'll be sharing some updates and details on what that looks like. So stay tuned to your email. And of course, like I said, if you're on social media, you can follow us there at Camp Ronald McDonald. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, and soon to be TikTok when we launch our first TikTok challenge with Ozo Motley at the end of this month. So we're very excited about that. But it's always helpful to boost our following, resharing our content and just staying updated. So our walk website's right there, and there's also a QR code, so you could hold your phone up to the screen, open your camera and scan that, and it'll take you right to the website. And I do want to shout out, we have some super walkers on the meeting tonight. Brenda, India, who else do we have here? I'm missing someone.
Gordon.
Oh, I can't forget our top fundraiser, Gordon Ho, who's raised over $7,000 for camp. We really appreciate your participation this year and your advocacy on behalf of camp. And lastly, I just have a slide to share about our sponsors and thanking them for participating this year. We couldn't do it without them, and we'll be recognizing them in a big way on our virtual celebration on April 25th.
And there's actually, and I should have caught this beforehand, but Univision is one of our sponsors. And so we will make sure we got your logo everywhere else, but they're one of our wonderful sponsors and media partners. So I want to say thank you to Univision too for being such a huge supporter of the walk.
It's a pleasure.
So I think that pretty much covers everything. And wow, 428, we're getting better and better each town hall. So I open it up now for questions. I don't think I see any questions in the chat, but feel free to unmute and ask any questions.
Fatima, big mouth here. I'm already got my first question in. But first of all, it's difficult to talk after India because she's such a literate and well-spoken person. Two questions, and they're about extending reach, okay? We have an opportunity, because we are doing cyber camp, to reach out to people who might never come to camp before. And I see Chad nodding, and I know it's a question of outreach and how do we reach those people, but there are people in areas far from Southern California who I think would benefit so immensely from the brilliant program that is Camp Ronald McDonald for Good Times. I know there's a lot of details that would have to be ironed out, but I'm making that suggestion that there's loads of parts of the country. I know there's other camps. Brian introduced them to me long ago, but there's loads of places also where people are alone and don't have that support. I think this would be a brilliant opportunity for us to make use, take that lemons and make lemon meringue pie. And in a more concrete way, once we, and I'll say we, but once we do have actual visits up to camp again, this may be esoteric information for some, but those in the camp community know that Camp Okaizu, which is up here in Northern California, suffered a devastating loss because of the fires last year. I don't know what their progress is. I don't know how advanced they are in doing their rebuilding, but it's a 5-hour drive or a 6-hour drive. I know that because I've made it. And from the Bay Area to go to Okaizu, I think it's 3 or 4 hours. I'm not quite sure. So if there is the possibility, if we have the facilities, if we can make that available, I'm just saying there is a community of people who have now been bereft of a resource, and it would be wonderful if we can share it with them as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Pun, and I think that we're on the same page, and I feel like I've heard that from others who are very excited with what we've been able to do with the camp at home. So that is, you know, a seed that's been planted for sure. And I should mention that we've actually been recognized by Ronald McDonald House Charities Global, and we were able to present on Camp at Home during the global conference. There were over 400 people who were tuned in and learned about Camp at Home and what we did. And I presented on behalf of camp, but I made sure to really talk about how this was a community effort, that it was our staff, our counselors, our board, the campers who said yes and participated, just like you mentioned, Pun, at family game night. Like, this isn't possible unless people are willing to buy in and participate, right? We are going through a program assessment right now. The chapter as a whole is going through a strategic planning process. So our program assessment is in alignment with the strategic planning process. So we're actually doing a deep dive analysis of our revenue, our expenses over the last 10 years. We're going through a very systematic kind of process to do that. And part of that analysis is going to include what are the needs of our community, and really, you know, reaching out to our community for that data and from that input, because any type of program expansion that we do, including Camp at Home, should come from data, because ultimately, like, this is wonderful and we agree that this will expand our impact, but is this the way in which we really want to expand our impact, and what is it going to take in terms of the revenue to build our capacity so that we can roll it out and do so in a way that's sustainable? So those are all kind of the questions that we have, and I feel like hopefully by the next town hall meeting, we've made enough traction as part of the program assessment committee that we can share with you kind of where we're at in that process.
Marvelous, thank you. Oh, and Chad, thank you for the nice words earlier.
Other questions?
Fatima, real quick, to Pun's point, I will say that we have been able to extend all our family camps that are virtual to all of our house families as well. You know, and it's just something we can't always do. So that's an offer that's gone out to all of our RMHCSC houses. And then with the virtual environment, we're getting a lot of new traction at Kaiser Sunset. Carola, I think is her name, the oncology child life specialist there, has done a fantastic job getting a lot of her families signed up for the family camps, and they're going to be participating right from the hospital, which is wonderful. So we're getting new folks who, like Pun said, wouldn't usually have access to camp. So it's, like Pun said, a lemonade out of some lemons. So there you go.
Thank you, Chad. Other questions? I have one question for India. The last we heard on Good Times News, you were waiting to hear back from colleges. I know that this is a very exciting time for our seniors who are waiting for their acceptance letters. Do you have any updates for us?
I have one more decision and then hopefully I'm done forever. I've gotten some wait lists and I've gotten some rejections because this is like the very fancy school time, which is totally okay. And actually, I just came back from unofficially touring some schools up in the Bay Area. So I was in the Bay Area literally a couple hours ago. I just came back like right before this meeting, so the timing worked out. It's been very exciting. I have one more, not really expecting anything, no expectations. And now I'm waiting on scholarships, so it never ends. But I feel very lucky and I'm very excited for the future. Still not 100% sure where I'm going to go, but I will say I really like the University of San Francisco. I was just up there 2 days ago. Really nice. So
That's
we'll
where
see.
my parents met.
Oh, really? That's
Yes.
wonderful.
I
They
almost
love
went there.
USF.
Oh, you
I
almost
know.
went there, Shannon?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So I don't know. I still don't know though. I have one more in like a week. And then
She's failed to
scholarships.
mentioning though that
Correct. Thank you. I was just.
she's got into quite a few schools, including a ton in England, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so she's doing pretty good, that India. Don't let
Oh,
her.
I think so. So that's just the most recent
Yeah.
string of decisions, but I feel very lucky. And yes, the Bay Area is very nice, Pun. I really enjoyed it. So
And you're going to be majoring in art, is that right?
sociology. I
Oh.
applied for a dual program and they rejected me, but I was very competitive, so I'm not sad. And I definitely plan on, no matter what, taking art classes on the side. I don't plan to stop.
Awesome. Well, thank you, India. We're very excited for you. We're rooting for you. We know no matter where you decide to go, you're going to flourish and you're going to be an incredible gift to whatever university you choose. So they are lucky. Any other questions that folks have? Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here today, and we look forward to, you see my daughter's head popping in. We look forward to seeing you at the next town hall. We're going to be having these probably about once a quarter, so we look forward to seeing you all at the next one.